If you're considering moving to Ontario and you want to stay around Toronto, you want to stay in the greater Toronto area, then just keep watching. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lakwe Adipaju. Then call me Lakwe's Lifestyle. You guys are welcome to my channel. So guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get an alert when a new video comes up. And if you're a returning subscriber, you guys, thank you so much for joining me again. I appreciate it. Let's jump into today's video. So guys, I've finally come around to doing this highly requested video. I'm happy I'm doing it too because it's been on my mind, like it's been on my to-do list since last year, guys. Like, don't even so I'm happy that I'm finally getting around to doing this. So just as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about the top 5 cities to live in the GTA. So if you're considering moving to Ontario and you want to stay around Toronto, you want to stay in the greater Toronto area, then just keep watching. Before I go into my list, I just wanted to let you guys know that the GTA is called the Greater Toronto Area, for those who don't know. And the reason why you might consider living in the GTA is because it's closer to Toronto, and most people that live around in Ontario, around Toronto, usually work in Toronto. But Toronto is a very expensive place to live in, especially for people raising families, so they'll just rather live in the suburban area and will commute to Toronto. The good thing about living in GTA is it is GO accessible. So the GO train has several lines within the GTA, so you don't have to worry about driving every day to work, because most parts of the GTA are covered by the GO transit, which is awesome. So number 5 on my list is Whitby. So Whitby is located on the east side of Toronto. So when I say Whitby, you can also consider other cities like Pickering, Ajax, and Oshawa. They are all within the Durham region. I said that right. Anyway, so Whitby is a small town, or it's a big town with small town vibes. Big city with small town vibes. They're all cities, by the way. So an average commute time to Toronto from Whitby is about 52 minutes to an hour. It is GO train accessible, as I mentioned earlier, which is perfect, so you don't have to worry about driving to work. So the cost of living is relatively low compared to other parts of the GTA, which is perfect. And the houses there are huge, guys. Like the houses are huge, so which is good, because imagine paying about $2,000 for a 1-bedroom condo in Toronto. You can get a 3-bedroom townhouse or even more for $2,000 in Whitby, which is perfect. So that's actually a plus. So as I said, it's gives you small town vibes, suburban area. It's a perfect place to raise your kids because it's quiet. It's got a lot of parks, there are a lot of recreation activities to do there, that are family oriented, and they've also got great schools as well. The only downside is it's the least diverse, compared to other cities within the GTA. But I'm pretty sure that as immigration continues, as time goes on, it's going to continue to become more diverse, and there'll be more multicultural areas within that city. So that makes Whitby the number 5 on my list. 4 is Burlington. So Burlington is located on the west side of Toronto. I don't know if that is the right direction. Trust me, guys, this east and west issue has been an issue for me, so just ignore the direction of my hands. But anyway, Burlington is on the west side of Toronto. The good thing about Burlington is it's actually in a sweet spot, so it's quite close to Toronto, and it's also close to the Hamilton region as well. So imagine if you're living in Burlington, and even if you don't get a job in Toronto, you still have the option of getting a job within the Hamilton region, where there are tons of jobs as well. And I think I forgot to mention, for my number 5, the good thing about Whitby is even if you don't get a job within Toronto, if you're in the manufacturing industry, there are a lot of jobs within the Whitby region. Oops, it's raining now. I hope that doesn't stop my video. But anyway, let's continue. So manufacturing jobs are quite a lot in Whitby, so you can always consider that if you're within that industry, because I know there's a Ford plant in Whitby. I don't know if they're still open, but pre-pandemic there was a Ford plant located there. Okay, so back to my number 4, which is Burlington. It takes approximately 50 minutes to get to Toronto from Burlington, and it's GO train accessible, which is perfect. And there's also an express line on that route, so in the morning when there's rush hour, you can even get there probably like faster. I'm not sure, because I remember when we lived in Oakville and I was going downtown, it took about 34 minutes, and after Oakville is Burlington, so I'll say with the express line probably about 40 minutes, so which is awesome. Burlington is a big city. An average price house there is about 800,000, which is more on the high side, but it's a large city and it's close to the lake shore, which makes it a beautiful place to live in, and of course that's why it's priced higher. A lot of beautiful scenery, parks and recreation activities for children, and a lot of places to eat, guys. A lot of places to eat. It's actually a very nice place, like that you get a lot of options, and even places to shop as well. Like I know there's the I think it's called Maple. It skipping my head right now. I'll place it somewhere on the screen. I think it's Maple something Mall. I don't know. Anyway, bless you. Yeah, Moya is here. Yeah, I don't want him to disturb Desiree. She's sleeping right now, so Desiree is with grandma and Moya is with me, and I'm filming. Yeah, mom life. Yes.
I don't want to stop, mommy.
Thank you. Okay, so Burlington has got great schools, so obviously part of why it's a good place to raise kids. And if you like outdoor activities like hiking, then that would be a perfect place for you to live in. I don't like hiking, but it's an option for you guys. So Burlington is number 4 on my list. For number 3, I choose Milton. So Milton is also further west, but on the opposite side. I don't know, I guess that's how I'll describe it. I'm not really sure. My geography is crappy. But Milton is also like a very suburban area. Like it gives you small town vibes, but very family oriented. It's big, but the area where people live in is kind of like within one area, and the rest is like more of hiking trails and conservation areas, if that's correct. So yeah, because we lived in Milton, and so I enjoyed living in Milton. It's a very nice place. It takes approximately 52 minutes to an hour to drive to get to Toronto, to driving there, and also it's GO train accessible, which is perfect if you're going to be working downtown. It's perfect. The downside to that GO train is there's no express line. Like it's a very long route, so it doesn't have any express route. It makes every stop basically, but which isn't bad. So it will take probably approximately an hour to get to Toronto from Milton, but it gets to Toronto, which is perfect. When we go back to our semi-normal lives where people can go back to offices to work, that will be a very good option for those who have to commute instead of driving every day, because there's usually a lot of traffic on 401. So yeah, and aside that, Milton is very family oriented. As I said, they've got a lot of daycare, childcare centers, home and centers, and also great schools as well, both Catholic, private, public. You've got several options, which is perfect, and they've got a lot of places to eat. So Milton is also close to Halton Hills, kind of close to Brampton, close to Oakville, close to Burlington. Like it's kind of like in a very, like geographically, it's in a very, very beautiful spot where it's close to everywhere. It's close to Mississauga as well. So people who live in Milton actually love living there. It's just it's located in a very beautiful spot where it's accessible to every other city within that area. So, and of course, an average price house in Milton is about $750,000. So yeah, which makes Milton my number 3. We've come to number 2. We're going north this time around because we've covered the east and the west. We're going north. So number 2 on my list will be Newmarket. Newmarket is when you say Newmarket, think of Aurora, Richmond Hill, or Vaughan. That they are all within the York region. So Newmarket will take, driving to Toronto from Newmarket takes approximately 48 minutes, which isn't bad. It's actually one of the closest, to Toronto, and it's GO train accessible, which is perfect. Again, it also gives you small town vibes. So when you compare the cost of living in Newmarket to other cities within the GTA, it's relatively cheaper, which is beautiful. Because I know people like to live in Vaughan. Vaughan is home to the popular Wonderland, if you've heard of Wonderland before, and the popular Vaughan Mills as well. Very big mall. So if you can't afford to live in Vaughan or even Richmond Hills, then Newmarket is your other option, and it's close to those cities, so it's perfect. You get the best of both worlds. So there are various parks and recreational activities for families. So it's very family oriented, and the popular Upper Canada Mall is located within Newmarket, and it's on Yonge Street. So this popular street in Toronto, if you've heard of Yonge and Dundas before, that's the street Yonge. So it actually extends from all the way to Vaughan, Richmond Hills, Newmarket, Aurora. It's a very long street, so it's actually located in Newmarket as well. And in terms of jobs, so if you don't want to commute all the way to Toronto and you're within the healthcare field, there are a lot of healthcare jobs within Newmarket, so that might also be another reason to move to Newmarket. And these are the reasons why Newmarket is number 2 on my list. So we've come to number 1. Drum roll. Number 1 is Oakville. Yeah, you guessed right. I'm pretty sure most people knew. So yes, my number 1 is Oakville. So fun fact, guys. We've lived in Oakville, we've lived in Milton. We're no longer in the GTA at the moment. We've moved to Cambridge, but living in those areas actually weren't bad, and they gave me an idea of what it's like, because we had access to other areas of the GTA, for example Mississauga. So Oakville, it takes approximately 30 to 40 minutes to get to Toronto from Oakville, and if you're even on the express route, during rush hour in the mornings and during closing hours, it takes 35 minutes approximately. I remember when I had to take the the express trains, which is beautiful. Imagine you're in downtown Toronto and 30 minutes after you're in Oakville. That's perfect. And if you have to drive, it's not bad too. Of course, driving might not really be necessary because it's GO train accessible, and the GO trains on that route are one of the what's the word, like it works. I think the lines work about maybe 24 hours a day or something like that, or if not 24 hours a day, then close to 24 hours a day. So it's one of the busiest lines. So yeah, an average priced house in Oakville is roughly about $1 million. It's Oakville. If you've heard of Oakville before, then you know that Oakville is expensive. Yeah. So yeah, this is the only city it's called the town of Oakville, but for me it still gives me city vibes, yeah, because it's a very busy town. There are a lot of companies, there are a lot of houses, a lot of things to do there. Like, it's become very bubbly these days, so to me it's no longer a town, but anyway, it's still called the town of Oakville, but whatever. So it's one of the places in the GTA that still roughly equates to living in Toronto. So that's the only downside. It could be expensive, but I feel like living in Oakville, if you can afford it, is like, it gives you the best of both worlds. If you can afford it, it gives you that vibe of, okay, I'm in a suburban area, I get luxury, I get that quietness of the fact that I'm no longer in a city, but I'm still living large. I don't know, I guess that's it. It's also close to the lake shore, so beautiful scenery. There are a lot of very beautiful cafes, places to eat, like English kind of restaurants. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of variety. I don't know, it's just a very chill city or chill town, gives you rich vibes. And there are also there's also an area as well in Oakville where there are companies, so a lot of tech kind of companies are springing there as well. According to Macklin's Canada, in 2018, Oakville was described as one of the best places to live in Canada. So in the whole of Canada, Oakville actually came up. So there's a reason for that. And they've got great schools as well. Like, they actually have one of the best schools. I mean, elementary and high schools, both private, public, Catholic, within the town, city, whatever. So it's actually a very good place to raise your kids. Very, very beautiful, environment. Of course, aside from the fact that it's close to Toronto, it's close to Burlington, it's close to Mississauga, and because it's close to Burlington, I'll also say it's close to Hamilton region as well. So it's kind of like in the center of it all. If you don't necessarily have to, search for a job in Toronto, you can also search for jobs, within that area. So yeah, Oakville is my number one. So that's it from me. We've come to the end of this video, and guys, you wouldn't believe that I had to record this video more than once, because the first time I was recording, I realized that my mic wasn't connected. So I'm happy that I've finally come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I will really appreciate that. And if you have any questions, or if you don't agree with me, please feel free to leave a comment. Let's engage, let's discuss in the comment section. Let's find out other areas. Yes, I'm almost done. There are other areas in the GTA that I didn't mention, and for good reasons. I can also do the 5 worst places to live in, in the GTA. If you want me to do that, let me know in the comments. Let's engage, let's converse. I didn't mention places like Mississauga, I didn't mention Brampton, Vaughan, Richmond, Markham. There's so many places though, guys. So for me to mention those places as my top 5, you should actually, they are worth considering anyway. So yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I promise I have more content coming up. I'm still in the new mom phase, trying to balance being a mom of 2, so it's kind of difficult finding time to film and also finding time to edit, but we're getting there, because I'm trying to work on creating more content and also doing more, more content creation stuff this year, 2021. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.